What's up, everybody? New year, same sponsors. We're talking about Elite Sports, the only apparel company that's got our merch squaring around. We're talking about ELETE sports.com. They got everything from squaring around. They also sponsor their own athletes. So if you're trying to get some custom merch for your family, you're looking for a good gift, shop EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout to get a nice discount. Tell them the Square Boy sent you. What's up, man? Should you stop our collection too if you're trying to get like a squaring around hoodie, jacket, sweater, hat. We got all that. EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE. Guys, it finally happened. Texas State and home field. Explosions. This has been 3 long years in the making. You know them. You love them. One of the best names in college football and athletic apparel out there. Home field. Use code SQUARE at checkout. Hey, we finally can benefit from this partnership. Make sure to show some love to home field. Tell them the Square Boy sent you. Use code SQUARE at checkout. You get 15% off your first order. And by the way, you get 10% off every other order after that. Use code SQUARE at checkout. Tell them the Square Boy sent you. Peace, love, thank you lots.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squaring Around with Jakob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
Deep breath, everybody. We're not going to talk about football at the top. We're going to decompress. Let's keep these feelings for the end of the episode. Huh? How about that? Up first, welcome to Squaring Around, everybody. Station identification, the only Texas State sports podcast that covers all the teams, all the players, all the everything going on in San Marcos. Andrew, my voice is still messed up, both from being a fan last night and also from celebrating love this past weekend.
Yeah, between the shouting Mr. Brightside and then the drunk cigs, my voice was kind of out of it earlier this week. I'm back to normal. I just yelled at my TV last night. You yelled at the players on the field watching Texas State and JMU. So before we get into any of that, let's talk basketball, because the best journalist on this podcast, Jakob Rodriguez, talked to a player and a coach, and that coach would be Terrence Johnson.
One Terrence Johnson, and also Kaden Gumbs, who...
How many fast food restaurant shout-outs do we get in this episode?
We got no fast food restaurant shout-outs, but we did get a couple of new words that Coach Johnson's saying this year. Everybody's familiar with now, but just you get ready for this. Here's our convo. What's up, everybody? I'm Jakob Rodriguez. This is the Squaring Around podcast where we talk about everything going on at Texas State. Joining me today is Coach Terrence Johnson, head coach of the men's basketball team, and Kaden Gumbs, one of the legends. I was so excited to talk to this guy. He's been San Marcos through and through. Kind of like Coach Johnson, I got to talk to you yesterday after you guys took down Houston Tillotson, kind of an exhibition game. You were saying that like this is in so many ways kind of like really reminiscent of like your first year as a head coach. You got a lot of guys coming through like that are new to the team and also new to your staff too. But then you got this guy who's been with you for 3 years too. So what's that like?
Yeah, I mean it's always great to have a bus driver, a floor general, a guy that you can communicate with, and we're starting to have like nonverbal communication. I'll give him a look and he'll say, "I know what you mean," and I'll try to tell him something and he'll already say, "I know what you mean." So, and when he does that, like he knows what I mean, so I don't have to keep talking. So it just makes my job a whole lot easier. And then whenever I'm trying to articulate a message to the guys, he'll say, "Coach, I got it," and then he can articulate the message better than I can. So it's really good to have somebody like Katie that understands me and understands what I'm about and understands what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I got to see like one of those looks. I've always liked to watch basketball as close as I can. They put the reporters sometimes up in the rafters, but I like to be like kind of third row just so I can kind of see some of that movement. And I saw one, I think Caden, you were driving up and something had happened. Maybe you had gotten fouled, but you looked back, you looked at Coach Johnson, you were just like, oh, that's what you meant. My bad.
Yeah.
So still ironing it out, but it was really cool to see it like come together. And, prefacing all this stuff, we had covered a little bit of basketball last week on the podcast with my buddy Andrew. And we were talking about like the Sun Belt Media Day that Coach Johnson had talked at last week. And he was talking about like just guard play and how like guards are so to the system that you guys run, running out of flow, disrupting things, playing aggressive defense, getting to the net. Like it really runs through you, Caden, you know?
Yeah. Um, I mean, he puts us in the best position to do what we do best. And I think it starts with us. We have a lot of guards. So, I mean, we just gotta do what we do to win. Be disruptive, compete, do it every day.
What's it like just being with like a group like this, like talk about just the guys that you're kind of surrounded with in the locker room right now and, what this summer's been like in development for you guys.
This summer has been straight competition and teaching. We have a lot of new guys, and that's okay. So with the three returners we have, really two, because Frank he didn't get to play last year. It was teaching, but that's okay though. So yeah, it was a lot of competing, a lot of teaching. So I think the guys are starting to pick it up, and we're gelling into a good team.
And I got to ask you yesterday, Coach Johnson, just about like what now meant, no opportunities wasted, y'all's mantra for the season, last season too. But you were saying really it's like depth. Like these guys, there's not a lot of reps to go around because there's so many guys fighting for that, those rotational spots.
Yeah, now was a moment last year that we came up with just because we had so many guys that had, that we knew that this was going to be the last hurrah. It's a lot of seniors and things of that nature. We didn't want them to miss out on any opportunities. But now, no pun intended, but the new now moment for these guys is just a competition, and making sure that they don't take anything lightly. But for us, we understand everybody's journey. And right now, like our focus is on embracing all things. And we've been seeing a lot between now and eat. And the eat has been the ability to embrace all things. A lot of times when you have 12 new guys, you're experiencing a different type of hard for the first time. So just them experiencing that different type of hard, being willing to embrace all things is important. So we like this group a lot. And the quest is going to be how quickly can we gel together and how long can we stay together?
That's why I like talking to you because every time you say a word, I gotta like try to dissect it to see if you're trying to say something else. Like when you said eat yesterday, I was like, oh my God, that's gold. Kaden,
Yeah.
when this guy talks to you, do you do that too? Or is there anything that he says to you that you're like, wow, that kind of hit me?
Yeah, I've been around Coach for a while, known me for a while. The acronyms, they're very unique. So when he came out now, I thought it was pretty cool because I actually had that on me. So like, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, they all mean something, right? Like all your tattoos. I was talking to you before we
Yeah.
started recording, and that's really cool. I don't know. I've seen like a lot of people come through with different things that meant a lot to them. I feel like I still keep in contact with Nigel Pearson and Marlon Davis when they roll through. Just seeing both of those guys sometimes it's like, whoa, I forgot how like larger than life they are. But I'll tell you what, Coach Johnson, you have a freshman that's 6'7". If I was 6'7", 220, or whatever DJ Hall is, I don't know where I would be right now. Maybe not recording a podcast. Well, what's it like seeing these young guys, Caden?
Uh, it's cool because for a while, it was I was the youngest guy, so it's seeing them like willing to learn and willing to buy in. It means a lot to the group because I think some of them guys can really be key pieces to our success this season.
Hmm. Like, I guess Emu and DJ Hall, like we were talking about, like, what was their first or Maybe what was your first welcome to Texas State or welcome to college basketball moment? You have one of those?
I did. We played U of H, and um, yeah, that it was a different type of animal over there. So I would say that's my welcome to tech or welcome to college moment right there.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I fell off. I jumped back on.
All
Sorry.
good, all good. Yeah. We were filling time right now too. We're talking about when this guy had his like welcome to college basketball moment. Is you played U of H. That was nice.
Yeah, that's that's most people's welcome to college basketball moment right there. No matter who at what time you play them, they're definitely themselves early in the season or late in the season. So one of the most consistent programs in the country over the last 10 years.
When you're running a team, Coach Johnson, like the only real thing I did competitively growing up was track and field. So that's what I relate to all the time, right? Like you're trying to like peak at a certain time, try to like hit and like be that runner at that time, district, area, whatever. Basketball is like a little different. You're trying to find a flow, trying to, especially based on like who your schedule is when you hit conference play. If you have like a MAC Sun Belt kind of matchup that y'all have done too in the past. But what does finding your flow, I guess, look like?
Yeah, I think you know, people always talk about, when basketball, we don't use the term peak as much. We typically say you want to be playing your best basketball, headed into March. So what that means is you want to be as connected of a unit as you can be. And what that looks like, that means like people getting the meetings on time and not late. That means that guys are looking out for one another. That means that guys are, staying after practice still and getting there before. And that just means that guys are commuting at an extremely high level. That means that we're checking the boxes, with our effort, we're checking the boxes with our energy and our attitude. And then finally, we are competing. And that doesn't necessarily mean winning every game, but man, there is a stretch that we've had here traditionally throughout the month of February where we are trending in that direction, and we've done an exceptional job of that, of understanding that the sense of urgency behind, playing well in the month of February and how that can kind of put you in a position of where you want to be at in March. So I'm hopeful that this team kind of understands that, and that we've gone through enough leading up to um, leading up until conference play to where when we hit February, where we understood where it's understood what's next, and that's preparing to be playing our best basketball headed into March.
A week from today, y'all will be in Bowling Green or Ohio. I guess that's where it is, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just like, what are you looking forward to in the first, I guess, really like 5 games to kind of get a sense of what you have, or what do you like the markers of success, I guess, is how you would define it.
Yeah, I think sustainable energy is one. Yeah, yeah. I would say sustainable energy. I would say the right kind of focus, and that's focusing on the now, not the next. And then I would say communication. Yeah, communication, sustainable energy, and focusing on the now and not the next. So throughout the next 5 games, that's to me, that's going to be super important for us.
This is a big football show. One of the biggest football headlines was that the team didn't really get any Sun Belt Conference nods. But Kaden, you got one of the nods just in the last year of the Sun Belt Conference. What does that mean to you just into this year for yourself personally, and then just for the team and the goals that you guys have as well?
It means a lot. It means a lot to me. For this team, I had to step into a bigger leadership role and try to help the coaches out as much as I can. So I think that's my role this year is going to be a bigger leader, whether that's vocally or leading by example. So I think that's what that is to me.
So when this 6'7" freshman comes up to you, he's like, "Hey, I think I have an idea how to play basketball." What do those conversations look like? Or you're like, "No."
Um, it's I've been here a while. I think I know Coach. Not I think I know Coach the best. So I'm not gonna steer you in the wrong direction. So yeah, just trust me, I got you. Just trust me.
I was telling Kaden coach, if I was 6'7", 220, or whatever DJ Hall is, like I don't know where I would be right now, but probably not behind a microphone recording a podcast. That's crazy.
DJ Hall is a he's a really talented freshman, and but at the same time, he is a freshman, so he's going to go through his growing pains, and he's going to lean on the upperclassman like Caden to kind of help guide him and direct him and keep him on the straight and narrow.
Mhm. We'll talk about the creation of this class too, just around some of the returners that you had. What were you looking for in the offseason and just kind of the guys that you wanted? You talked about like integrating like a win like culture. And you know, Caden's a winner. You had a lot of guys that like were winners, have been around winners. Just like what did you want, you know?
Yeah, so for our freshman class, we certainly went after some guys that were winners because one thing that we've noticed about our freshman class, like the best freshman classes that we've had has been built upon somebody with the winning culture, whether or not that's from my time here grabbing Marlon Davis or Nigel Pearson, both of whom were had been down the state, and Marlon had won multiple state championships uh, at Second Baptist and also, excuse me, at Westbury Christian, and and Nigel, even his sophomore season, they went down to state. Although they did lose in the championship game, but they went to state, so they had won district a number of times when he was at Beaumont Central. So um, you know you move on from that. We get D2 and Nate Martin, two guys that were coming from winning programs and things of that nature, especially Dylan Dawson, being at Atascocita, just trying to figure out a way how to continue to grab some freshmen that could potentially be 4-year guys that you can, put the hands of your program in. And that's why it was important for us to keep Caden home and to bring him along here. He had been he along with Malik had been largely responsible for revitalizing that program under the leadership of Coach Miller, who's a phenomenal coach. So this next freshman class, with DJ Hall winning the state championship and Robert Fields being a guy that's won an AAU championship on an Under Armour circuit before. So it was important that we went out and got some winners in that freshman class. You talk about the transfers. We wanted guys that we knew more about. It's a little bit, kind of crazy out there. You never know what you're going to get. So we recruited. We wanted to recruit transfers in our league first. So if you notice, we got 3 guys out of our league. We felt like we have a better feel for what they can do. The film is easily accessible. We have our own assessment of them. So we went out and we got some guys, and then everything else came via reference. It wasn't anything blind. We know somebody connected to everybody that which we've recruited, whether or not it's Cam, he from Central, him being a former player for a really good friend of mine, whether or not it be Jay Lee, who played at A&M for Buzz, and Buzz and Coach Seltzer used to work on the same staff together, or whether or not you're talking about or whether or not you're talking about Tay Knox. And Tay Knox's NIL agent is a really good friend of mine who's been really, really trying to help us throughout the course of the years, even before NIL, when he was involved with just AAU. So when I was an assistant 10 years ago here. So yeah, those are, that's kind of what we tried to do. And not wanting to gloss over Deke as a freshman, but Deke had a really successful high school career as well.
Honestly, Kendall Davis has to be the most like, thank God this guy's on our side this year guy for me. I remember when you guys played Louisiana last year, I was like, oh my God, can we do anything about this guy?
Yeah,
I
it's funny. It's
That
funny you
guy's
should
wearing maroon and
say that.
gold.
Man, it's funny you should say that. And Kaden tell you, like now that game was kind of crazy when we had to kind of go to Beaumont and all of that stuff to kind of avoid a snowstorm and things of that nature. But even in film, I told them, I said, man, I think this kid number 4 does some things that can really cause us problems. I thought we did a pretty good job of neutralizing him when we played uh, at Louisiana, but then here he was able to get going with his toughness and rebounding. He definitely impacted the game.
Yeah, I was just look. It's again the little things. Like I was just looking at him playing defense. I guess it was number five and number three yesterday. But he was just all up in this guy's grill, and he the guy didn't have any answers. Like he won the mental battle before anything. It was like, wow, like you can't really coach that. Like Kaden, when you see something like that on the floor, like does that give you more confidence, or like what is that?
Absolutely. Like that means everybody, like when you see that, that just makes you want to play even harder. So, I mean, having a guy like Kendall is great. He's a competitor, man. He's a competitor. Very tough guy.
And when these guys come in over the summer, like who are you most excited to see? Obviously, like Jalen Bolden, right? He was another dude that you guys had recruited from the Sun Belt from ULM. I remember that dude too. Also another terror. I remember his hair, really. That's what I remember the most.
I was, I would say, I was excited just playing with all the guys, like seeing how we would mesh together. I wouldn't say one person in particular. I definitely wanted to see how the freshmen would look, and so I was excited about playing with all the guys.
We talked a lot about like culture, just like integrating the winning culture. Caden, what does that like mean to you, like day to day? You know, like I guess it's easy on a game day, maybe, but what does it just mean like every day?
I think to me, it means like just taking it day by day, you know? Like obviously with having a new team, there's going to be struggle at first, but that's okay. So coach call it brick by brick, stacking days and winning the day. So I think all this whole process is going to start by just winning the day. And I think that's going to be a winning culture, just doing it day by day.
Is there any game you got scheduled on your calendar or circled on your calendar that you're like, yeah, I gotta get it this time around versus last year or you know,
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion?
Yes.
Those guys hate me. Pick, I had picked football to win huge, and that happened last year. Not going to talk about it. Different podcast, different sport.
Yeah, you
But
could.
if you guys take down Old Dominion, that would be huge for me personally.
Now they have a great program, really good staff and talented players. I think last year, I thought we had opportunities, especially in the conference tournament, to kind of finish out the game. And even at their place, they did a really, really good job of executing. They had a really elite level game plan against us. So it's one of those teams that we know what we're going to get, and we want to see if we can kind of get back to finishing plays out and going against that level of physicality every time down the floor is something that we need to be measured up against for sure.
It was weird, like being on the Sun Belt call. I didn't want to ask a Pac-12 question because I feel like that's inappropriate or like a weird line. But the last year in the Sun Belt, like, what does it feel like, look like, or?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're on the floor playing against whoever you're playing against, um, you don't have any feeling about a league. Yeah, I can't tell you that we approached last night's game like we were in the Sun Belt and like they weren't. So for us, we try to stay as present as we can. I think it's exciting. I think it's normal to look forward to the what's next. I think it's rare for people to like block all of that out and just focus on the now. And that's what we try to do. We try to put ourselves in rare air and just focus on the things we can control. I think that the university, as well as the athletic department, has earned the right to put themselves in a higher echelon league per se. Um, I don't think the competition is going to be no different when it comes down to tough nights every night. I do think that these nights are tough as well. We're gonna have to figure out a way how to recruit a little bit differently and prepare a little bit differently for a different style of play in a different league. But for the most part, man, we are super excited about trying to finish out this journey in this particular league that, two out of the last 5 years, we've we've been a premier team in this league, and then those years where we didn't, we've made some noise in the tournament, all except for last year. So if we can put those two things together, where we're making noise in the tournament and we're in the top four in the league, and I think I think the sky's the limit for this unit.
It's really scary when everything clicks. Like I feel like speed and like just like power at finishing at the rim, like finesse under the net too is like something that's been missing. And now like I saw even in little moments yesterday, I was like, oh, hashtag they're back. Like this could be really fun, really fast if things go right.
Yeah, it could be. And we talk about that a lot as far as, can we get things to go right? What it's the little things that make a big difference. Kaden has been doing a really, really good job of talking to the guys during their takeaway segment and trying to figure out, ways in which to get us all focused on, the little things that we need to do, to make sure that we're all on the same page all the time.
Yeah. You talk a lot about like the impact of like leading men, especially like right now in our current age. Caden, for you, like just staying in San Marcos, like being or becoming this floor general, like that's like a really like kind of like thing, like a big task at hand. Was that like the reason you stayed in San Marcos to lead this team?
Um, yeah, I mean, besides, also my family's here, that's also another huge reason. Um, I just want to do my job. At the end of the day, I want to do my job. I want to put my team in the best position to win and to get better. So that's really all I want.
Coach, I just wanted to ask too, before we wrap things up, like because you just have so many words too. Like I don't even know where I want to go with this. Like, what are you telling your team right now before taking on the goals that you have? Obviously, the biggest goal probably is go back to the March Madness tournament. Haven't been since 1997. Like, what does that take? What do you tell these guys? What's needed to get that going?
Yeah, I think and that would be a dream. We haven't achieved that since Coach Mathis was a player here. And we try not to get him to share his story too much and put that kind of pressure on these guys. But what we try to do is, man, we try to show up every single day for our players. And I think there was a situation last night where we had a couple of guys just really not knowing and understanding like how things work with our program. And I asked one of them, did they want to coach? And I asked another one, did they want to coach? I said, because you can look at the players and I can tell you right now, we want to play. That's just, it goes really, really fast. So when it's gone, when it's over, it's over. So these guys have a very short window and small amount of time, to, as they say in the boxing world, be young, be good, be in the best shape of their lives. That's what boxers used to say when I was growing up. Every fight, I'm young, I'm good, I'm in the best shape of my life. When you get to where we are as coaches, when you have that absolute burning desire to still play, but you know that that ship has sailed. What you want to do is you want these guys to find some kind of way to focus on the dash. And that's that dash in between that number and when you're born and when you pass. So we want these guys to completely maximize and exhaust their time here at Texas State. Enjoy it, have some fun. One of the things that we're going to continue to teach and preach is having some joy and having some fun. Yeah, man, we work hard, but we work hard in order to get ourselves to the point to where we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. So just wanting some joy back into the game and playing with passion and having fun.
If I was 6'7", 220, the things I could do for this team, it's awesome. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm 5'7", but that's why I was so stoked when I saw you on the field last year. And, like frame wise, like the team that you had last year, unfortunately, a bunch of injuries and things that happened. But like frame wise, like that was the team that should have done it. And this team, the same thing. Like it's got a lot of length, a lot of reach, a lot of, all the things that I can't do as a person because I'm 5'7".
Yeah, from a stature standpoint, I think this team has the right amount of length and athleticism at every position, pretty much, to be honest with you. And then this team has a lot of interchangeable parts, a lot of guys that can play multiple positions. And then this team probably embraces a little bit more physicality than last year's team.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a challenge. That's for sure. Kaden, do you feel it or is there pressure? I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this interview to be like this, but
Nah, it's not. It's not impressive. I mean, hey man, at the end of the day, we just we gotta be physical. We gotta compete, and that's really what we gotta do. So it's not no pressure. It's not a challenge. It's just what we have to do.
this guy looked at me and said, "I'm Kaden Gumbs. What are you talking about?" That's that's awesome, man. Well, guys, good luck to your season. I'm rooting for you all the way. I'll be at a lot of games. I'm stoked to see you guys, continue to develop this, whatever this is going to be. So good luck. Appreciate it.
Man, we thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate you, Jake.
So after talking to them, because I do want to wrap up this interview. After talking to him, Jacob, what are your expectations for the men's basketball season this year?
Is it the same as everything else? Like Sun Belt title or bust, honestly, in the last year of the Sun Belt, like there is a lot of pressure, I would say, on this program to succeed, especially as we look toward the Pac-12 move next year. So, high aspirations for sure, but I don't,
Much better basketball conference.
yeah, exactly. But I also think this roster is really good too. Like, I don't know if you spent time looking at the roster. These guys are all like really good, really experienced. He poached the Sun Belt, got some of the best players. I actually talked to Kendall Davis and the dude that played basketball at UTRGV last year at the game last night. Came right up to them and I was like, "Yo!" And they were like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna be hooping this year." So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think those guys especially are gonna be really good, and
Okay.
it just needs to kind of. I think it needs to kind of all coalesce at the right time. But that's what they're building over there. It's gonna be pretty cool.
I'm excited. This feels like the last year of something with Terrence Johnson. I do, like I said in previous episodes, I believe that all these coaches will get at least 1 year in the Pac-12. I don't think anything changes going into a new conference. That being said, if you struggle in the Sun Belt, I don't see how that is going to. I don't know how that translates to the Pac-12. I just between Gonzaga and Oregon State and some of these other schools, San Diego State, who are really, really good basketball teams, really good basketball programs. If you struggle this year in the final year of the Sun Belt, I'm not thrilled with what could be coming down the pipeline. All right, enough about that. So you high aspirations, high expectations. Hopefully Terrence Johnson and those guys can get it done. I do think that they have the best looking team. They look like a bunch of fine young gentlemen. I've said that to Jacob before. They look very nice in their new jerseys. All right, let's get into football. All right, well, there's a lot of people to blame for this loss. I had to take Tylenol this morning to get my blood thinners going because I was so upset after last night's second half performance. All right. I did not think that this team over the last decade could do to me what they've done to me this season because I am so upset. Like I am so upset. You stole your parents' car, drank all the brandy, and then put it around a tree upset. Okay.
What do you know about that?
How
How
in
can
the
you get that
world,
upset if that's never happened?
how in the world do you not score in the second half of that game? How are you an offensive coach and you have no adjustments in the second half? And a lot of people are blaming you, Jacob, for this loss
Really?
on the internet. Yeah, a lot of people for taking fruity pictures and posting them before the game. A lot of people are looking at you,
I don't
Mr.
think
Jacob
so. I
Rodriguez,
have
and
I
saying,
got no words for this team. I literally said last week, I was like, I'm gonna go to this game as a fan. We've lost 4 games. If we somehow manage to beat JMU, which is one of the best teams in the conference, then it's gonna be my fault as a fan that we won. You're welcome. And if I don't, this is totally on this team. So me having a Dr. Pepper shootout with my good friend Will Thompson, what does that have to do with anything? Me and other guys taking off our shirts and
tarps off. You went tarps off.
starting the shirtless student section. Again, you're welcome. But this team didn't deserve that because there was really only like 5 minutes in the first quarter where that game was fun for Texas State fans.
Oh, I don't know. I think going into the halftime, it was good. It was a one score game going into the break.
We did have
That's
some.
not bad.
Well, I
Yeah,
guess.
28-20 at halftime. That's not bad.
Maybe it's because, like, bro, low key, thank God I go to these games as a journalist because I was running around with Danny and Will, and I feel like I didn't watch any of that game because, like, we're just constantly, like, either in a beer line or going to get a pretzel or, like, walking around the stadium looking for free t-shirts. Like, I want to watch the game.
Yeah, no, not watching the game with people who are super locked in on Texas State can be a drag. The team also not being locked in on Texas State football is also a drag because what is that like? Okay, we've beat around the bush. People online have been calling for this guy's job. We have never called for a coach's job. Dexter McCoyle, you're really pushing the envelope here, buddy. You are getting me so upset. JMU's a good team. They're not a 30-point better than us team. Jacob, what's going on? I had people tweeting at us last night. They said Texas State came into this season as a dark horse team in the Sun Belt to win the conference. And then you looked at what Louisiana did, and JMU is a very good team. We're not taking anything away from JMU. Last night's loss in San Marcos was squarely on the feet of Texas State. It is their fault that they lost that game. It's not JMU's good, but Texas State was bad. They were bad last night, Jacob. And Brad Jackson had 3 interceptions. I would say 2 of them weren't really his fault. I thought the receivers let the ball bounce off their hands and the defensive player was just there for it.
Here's the thing, Andrew. I don't even know if I want to throw a full on temper tantrum about this team because it's just hashtag over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the
It
thing.
really is. It really is. Because I was texting our friend last night, Kate, who's in Denver. Shout out to Kate. And we were talking about Vance Joy during the game because there wasn't anything to talk about during the game. But I told her, I said, this loss is just not only indicative of what Texas State has been all year, but it is the end of the bowl hopes, I feel. Because even with Texas State playing South Alabama and ULM at the end of the year, we might not be bowl eligible this year, Jacob. Like, there's a real world where we don't go to a bowl game. Which, talk about going into the Pac-12 with a whimper. And also, by the way, worst winning percentage in Sunbelt football history due to that loss last night. Texas State will go down as the worst winning percentage in Sunbelt football history due to that loss last night. Now, you can blame Everett Withers, you can blame Jake Spavital. Like, this isn't all on Kenny, obviously, but this season is. This season is, and you can go back to losses last year and say, Kenny didn't do a great job there either. I don't know why we're so conservative in the second half of these games. I don't know why the defense can't figure out how to make a stop. It's mind-boggling to me that it's the same problem every single week. I don't understand it.
I've kind of, I guess, and maybe this is why I'm reacting this way, but like I'm just hashtag used to it, like football being good was kind of an anomaly. And that's why that first season that we were like, okay, was like really special to me. The second season, when we were like mid, I was like, oh, well, this just kind of is what it is. This season, between the access issues and between just like the play on the field, it's been kind of tough, honestly, to cover this team.
MVP of the season, Brad Jackson.
Yeah,
like if you're done with
definitely.
the season, like let's just do the MVP award then. It's Brad.
Keeping Brad around in the offseason will help this team tremendously. We're going to lose a lot of veteran leadership. We're going to have to experiment with the portal again. And Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with this team. I'm done with this season. Whatever.
So you're already on to basketball. Like, I would just want to
It's
say,
actually fortuitous that we talked to TJ this week because we have content now. Thank God.
for everybody, because this is the wild thing, and I will say this. You beg and plead for football season all summer. You want football. You love football. You get into football. You hate football. That's really how this goes. And I will say, for anybody who's in the Team Rodriguez side of things, I'm going to keep on the heartbreak train. I'm going to keep doing Texas State football. I'm going to still watch every single game, every single second. Doesn't matter if the team's good or not. I'm going to watch. But the idea that you should just jump on the basketball bandwagon already is very dangerous, considering that I think they're going to be ass again. I'm going to hedge my bets and say I don't think they're going to be very good. And if they aren't any good, then you are begging a bad football team to move over for a worse basketball team. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe TJ hasn't figured out. Maybe this team's going to be really good this year, and I'll look like an idiot, and I'll eat crow, which I'm totally good with. But right now, I've been right. I said don't crown Brad Jackson before he deserved it. We crowned him a little early. He had some games where he looked, kind of wobbly. He turned into this great quarterback. I don't feel like I'm wrong there. I said Lincoln Perry shouldn't be running back one. We're at this point in the season, I don't think he should be running back one. Is that fair? Is it fair, Jacob, to say that I might have been right about that? Thanks for squaring, everybody. Use code SQUARE at checkout when you buy your merch. Thanks.
For what? To celebrate this team, Andrew?
I just want to make sure you have an ending when this thing ends again, when your shit breaks again.
I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Speak positively and things will happen. If not, this is kind of like good for this episode, low key.
Explain.
We needed some drama. We needed to battle through some adversity.
Yeah, like we haven't had enough adversity. Like the football team giving up 30 some odd points in the second half isn't adversity enough.
Listen, that's on those guys. I don't got anything to do with that. All I do is try to talk to them, talk to the players, try to highlight this program.
So we'll end the podcast because Jacob's computer just doesn't work anymore, which is completely fine. Happens to the best of us. Squaring around. Merch is on Elite Sports. Use Square at checkout. Home field apparel. Use Square at checkout for a 10% discount. Football, it's over for Jacob. Not for me. I'm still very much team football. Basketball, God bless them. Good luck. And thanks for squaring, everybody.
We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.